You will see her, right?
Don't go there. No room for doubt.
You're right.
We'll see her again. And soon. You convinced me of that. So stay strong.
Don't worry. We'll finish this and go see her together.
Welcome to Final Fantasy XIII, the complete story. All information gathered here is from Zadoko playing the games and going to the wiki to verify her facts. Quick question, did you like this game? Some people felt that it was hallway fantasy instead of Final Fantasy. What are your opinions? This story begins with a city called Cocoon, sitting in a world known as Grand Pulse. And having been secluded from the outside world for so long, the citizens of Cocoon became very paranoid of the world of Grand Pulse. Problems begin when the Sanctum, Cocoon's government, issues an edict whereupon any individual suspected of having been in contact with anyone or anything from the world of Grand Pulse are to be banished from Cocoon. One day, there is an incident at an energy plant believed to have been caused by a Grand Pulse Xiii. 6 days later, a Pulse Xiii is discovered in the outside town of Badum. Final Fantasy XIII begins in Cocoon as Badum's citizens are being evicted and forced into purge trains after coming in contact with something from Grand Pulse. The people are taken to a restricted hanging edge zone along with the Pulse Xiii anima contained within the Pulse vestige. Lightning, a former Guardian Corps soldier, is on board the purge train to reach the Pulse Xiii to save her sister Sarah, who 10 days prior became a Pulse Xiii and is now being held captive by Anima. Accompanying her is Sazh, a civilian airship pilot who has a secret reason for pursuing the Xiii himself. But Lightning isn't the only one trying to save Sarah, because Snow is also here trying to rescue her as she is his fiancée. But our cast of characters does not end with Sazh, Lightning, and Snow. Hope and Vanille are also becoming involved in this because, before the game began, Hope's mother joined Snow's resistance army and died while he was watching her, prompting Vanille and Hope to chase him down for revenge. Regardless of why the five are here, they come together at the Pulse Vestige where they find Sarah. She urges them to save Cocoon before she gets put into a crystal stasis, which is a crystal sleep that a Xiii enters upon fulfilling their focus being what their actual objective is. Snow refuses to give up hope and thinks that Sarah will one day awaken from her crystal state. But Lightning believes that Sarah is dead, and seeking vengeance on Anima, Lightning heads into Anima's throne room to confront the person who is responsible for Sarah's transformation into a Xiii. An epic fight begins that feels like it could possibly be the end of the game at the first 10 minutes, but Psycom forces blast into the Pulse Vestige and everything inside of it is blown to pieces. With Anima facing a possible death, the God of Pulse transforms Lightning and her group into a Xiii, showing them a dream involving the city of Eden and Ragnarok. But before they can start to make sense of any of these visions that they've been given, they begin to fall down to Grand Pulse and land near Lake Brescia. Falling from such a great height would have surely been their death, but they do manage to survive because as Anima died, it transformed the entire area into a giant crystal, which conveniently caught them. Now enemies of the state, they have to figure out what their focus or objective is as Xiii. Most of them believe that their purpose is to destroy Cocoon, but there's already problems amongst the party, as Snow believes that it was actually Sarah's wish that they properly save Cocoon. They set off to escape the lake and come across Sarah's crystallized form, as it has now become a part of the crystallized lake. Snow insists that he's going to stay by Sarah's side, while the others seek to outrun their pursuers. The party splits into two because of this, because Snow refuses to leave Sarah behind just in case she happens to change back, so he starts to dig her out. The rest of the group begins to head towards the ruins of the old city at the lake's edge, where they come across an airship left by the Psycom patrol. Snow and Sarah's crystal eventually get captured because it's hard to outrun your pursuers when you're just trying to dig out a crystal, and they eventually get detained on an airship Lindblom where he meets Cid and Fang. Meanwhile, the others are escaping with their captured airship, but they get separated during an airstrike. Hope and Lightning end up traveling in their own direction, while Sazh and Vanille are traveling towards Nautilus. In Lightning's scenario, she unintentionally supports Hope's goal of killing Snow as revenge. But in Vanille's scenario, Sazh discusses how his son Daj was turned into a Xiii by a Cocoon Xiii and was taken by Psycom to discover his focus. So Hope is even angrier at Snow at this point, and we find out that Sazh was actually here trying to find his own son. Lightning and Hope eventually reach their goal, with Lightning trying to convince Hope to not kill Snow. Once they arrive though, Lightning and Hope meet up with Snow and Fang. As you can imagine, Hope and Snow have a few words to exchange, so Lightning and Fang go and chat. Fang reveals that she and Vanille were actually Xiii from Pulse who were turned into crystals, and they were turned back into humans 13 days prior to the start of the game. So this basically proves Snow's theory, and Lightning is finally given some form of hope that she can actually save Sarah. But sadly, this big reunion isn't happy for everyone. Hope attempts to kill Snow, but after Snow saves him from an airstrike, he decides maybe he shouldn't kill Snow. Maybe he actually isn't as bad of a guy as Hope thought he was. So eventually, everyone escapes the city with Cid's help, but we're not done with the crazy reveals. It turns out that since Vanille is a Xiii from Pulse, she is indirectly the reason why Dodge, Saz's son, was turned into a Xiii. But before Sazh and Vanille can work out their differences, SAICOM captures them both and detains them on the airship Palamacia. After a couple of fluff missions, the entire group stages a rescue mission and they reunite with Vanille and Sazh. And then the entire group goes and confronts Galenth Desley, the Sanctum's Primarch. Desley reveals himself as the Cocoon Fal'Cie ruler Barthandelus. Desley tells them that their focus, their objective, is to transform into the beast Ragnarok and slay the sleeping Fal'Cie who keeps the cocoon afloat above Grand Pulse, as this would result in the destruction of Cocoon, meaning that their original ideas, their original intentions was right. They're supposed to kill off Cocoon. The party escapes, and they learn from Cid that it's not quite that simple. You see, the Fal'Cie believe that Cocoon's destruction will summon the Maker, the creator of all the worlds. It's at this time that Vanille and Fang reveal that they were involved in the War of Transgression centuries ago, and that their focus back then had been the exact same, to transform into Ragnarok and attempt to destroy Cocoon. Keep in mind that this is the first mention of any form of time travel, and as of Final Fantasy XIII-2, this time travel plot is going to become crazy. With that, the group decides to travel away from Pulse and regroup in Vanille and Fang's hometown, where they hope to learn how they can remove their Xiii marks and completely get rid of their focus. But they find that the town is completely deserted. The group is unsuccessful in removing their marks on top of that, and Desley finally finds them and confronts them again. You see, this group decided to do what we've always wondered why heroes in Final Fantasy don't do. Just not complete the final mission that the boss wants you to do. The world will move on just like normal, Cocoon will never be destroyed, and they don't have to worry about completing their focus. Except, Desley reveals that he is now forcing Cid, who has now become the head of Sanctum, to create chaos in Cocoon. They hope to create this chaos by having all of the Cocoon factions go to war with each other and start a coup d'etat. To prevent Cocoon from destroying itself at this point, the group heads back inside. Once inside, they begin to head towards the Fal'Cie holding up Cocoon, and they find that in a defense mechanism, the Fal'Cie has turned everyone into Xiii, a new type of monster. The party encounters Desley and overpowers him easily, but then the Fal'Cie awakens and merges with Desley. As all hope seems lost, this compels Fang to finish her focus by turning into Ragnarok, and the others seem to be transformed into Xiii. The group then reappears in human form, and this prevents Fang from actually transforming into Ragnarok. The group, now in human form, actually manages to defeat the Fal'Cie holding up Cocoon. And upon defeating the Fal'Cie that is holding up Cocoon, all of Cocoon begins to fall towards Grand Pulse. Upon completing their objective, our party members begin to turn into crystals, which is what happens once a Xiii completes their objective. But Vanille and Fang remain inside of Cocoon and actually still transform into Ragnarok. They prevent a collision with Cocoon and Grand Pulse by turning themselves into a giant crystal pillar between the two worlds, completing their own personal focus. The rest of the party then awakens from their crystallized state on Grand Pulse, and they find that their Xiii brands are actually gone. The game ends with Lightning, Hope, Snow, and Sazh reuniting with Sarah and Dash. So, how does time travel come into play on this? Why is the next game all about Sarah? What the heck happened with Vanille and Fang? Well, I guess you're gonna have to wait for the next part of Final Fantasy XIII, the complete story. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss it. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google Plus to get up-to-the-minute updates. Up-to-the-minute updates? Updates are up to the minute? Zodical, I just blew my own mind. I blew my own mind.